Anyways,
I don't know.
coffee.
Yes, coffee. Lord.
I just had my first
This
one
is so good.
and I'm like,
So this is your first one in how long?
my first with real coffee beans.
Oh.
I had Starbucks.
Because the other ones don't count. I
Yeah.
know.
So I
Oh my
tasted
goodness.
it and I was like, wow, I really have become a coffee snob.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I converted you guys into coffee snobs too.
You know what? Yeah, my French press, not doing it. The Nespresso pods are just ridiculous. So I'm like, this is good. This is good to me.
Yeah. So all of those coffee beans back there are yours, Diana, Daniel. And I was just thinking, I'm like, I've become a coffee bean dealer. And I'm
That's
slowly
good.
converting
Yay.
people.
They're so good. Do you still get the same one? The Southern something?
I get Monarch or Southern.
Oh, yeah? Which
Yeah.
one do you like better?
I like Monarch right now, and I like Southern Weather for the winter.
Oh, really?
Because I feel like
I haven't tried Monarch.
Monarch is probably my always.
Is this Monarch?
Yeah, that's Monarch.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
Southern Weather
Oh, man.
is because the first time I tried it was in the fall. So I don't know if I'm just
Kinda like
connecting
associating it with
and I think that's why it tastes
comfort.
better then. I don't know.
Yummy.
It could be
Well, I
nothing.
have to try them. Well, this is a Monarch, right?
Yeah,
So
that's a Monarch.
I feel like I do taste the difference in it, like in the coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you
But
could.
it's good.
I don't know.
It's so
I
good.
just think
I
you
love
can.
it.
How was mom life this morning?
Mom life was a little crazy. I think our mornings can be all kind of crazy. You know, you got to get up and change Pampers immediately and then just hop into it, you know, and then you're still like trying to wake up. And then, yeah, it was a little.
Is this the
little
life you
crazy.
imagined years ago?
No, not at all.
No?
Not at all. No,
Wait. Where did you think you would be? How old are you?
Oh, well, I'm 38.
Okay, so
Yeah.
where did you think you would be at 38? Like the Monica before.
Before traveling to somewhere in Europe, probably Spain. You know,
married or not married?
Probably not married.
Really?
Yeah. Well, not because I didn't want it. It's just because I didn't think that I would ever get married.
Okay.
I didn't think it was the Lord had that
You
for
didn't
me.
think it was in the cards,
Yeah,
as people say.
Yeah, in the cards, as people say. Yeah, I didn't think so, and so I figured I kind of just got myself prepared to be kind of like single for the rest of my life. And sadly enough, right? But that's a lie. That's a lie that I bought into.
Yeah.
And no, like it's not true.
So you've been married to Richie for how long?
For 5 years now.
5 years.
Yeah.
And you guys have how many kiddos?
2 children.
And how old are they?
We have 2 little ones. I have a 2-year-old. He just turned 2, Judah, and then my Ezekiel, and he is 9 months. Yeah.
So 2 under 2.
Yeah, 2 under 2. It's wild.
Yeah. So you didn't imagine your life would be like this?
Definitely not. No, it's a joy every day, you know, just to be able to say that these are mine, you know, like these are mine. So no, I had never pictured it for myself. Yeah. You know, I could never picture it. I saw it for everybody else, but not for me, you know? And so having that, it's a gift. You know, I feel like I can consider it a gift, like even in the hardest times when like, at least I get to do this, right? Yeah. Because there was a season where I thought I would never be able to have this craziness and madness, ketchup in the dryer, you know, you know, things like that, you know. So, yeah.
How long have you known the Lord?
Let me see, my whole life, girl. Yeah, really. So we were kind of raised Christian. I was raised by my dad Christian. So we were introduced to the Lord at a very young age. I think I was, you know, baptized as a baby, or baptized. Look at me. I was like dedicated as a baby, and so it went back. Really,
you have to differentiate those two.
Right. I know. Look at me. So I was dedicated as a baby early on, and so I always knew about the Lord. I feel like I developed a relationship with, you know, the Holy Spirit very early. And then it just kind of continued. But once I reached my 20s, you know, things changed. Oops.
So, you know, were 20s like your wild card?
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were definitely my wild card. I think I wanted to find out for myself what like why is it that my friends who are not saved, why is it that they can do all this stuff, right? The stuff that we shouldn't be doing.
And feel great about it?
Party. Yeah. And not have no conviction and like, why is it that they can do it, but I can't? And the Lord gave me a word on that, and it made so much sense. You want me to share it?
Yeah, share it.
Okay,
Share it. Tell me.
So what he basically said, or what is it? A parable. It was a parable. He kind of showed me, it was there was two children. I wonder if that's ironic, right? There's two children. One was at an age where they can understand, like, no, we don't do this, X, Y, and Z. And the other one was at an age where they didn't understand, no, don't touch this. And there was a china cabinet. And he showed me that the little boy, who was 7, I want to say 7, got something out of the china cabinet and broke it. But he knew he shouldn't have been in that china cabinet. So there was discipline that came with that, right? There was instruction that came with that. Versus if the little one who doesn't understand no, we'll say a 9-month-old, doesn't understand no, got in that china cabinet, took it out and broke it, the disciplinary, it would look different, right? There wouldn't be any discipline. And I don't even know if discipline's the right word, because he doesn't, Lord, I wouldn't necessarily say that that's how he views us, is through disciplinary action. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, the moral of it is, like, the 7-year-old knew better. The 9-month-old doesn't, right? And so with that, he just kind of like gave me that image of it. And it made so much sense. There's clarity. Like, I just can't. Like, you know better, Monica. Like, you know what that leads to. You know sin leads to death, you know? So therefore, don't go and sin.
Did you?
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I tested the waters, you know, and I got in trouble, you know? I got trapped in a current. Or 2, you know, and I had to learn, you know, I had to learn my lesson. But what's wonderful is that he still loved me. You know, what's wonderful is that he still welcomed me back. He still wanted me. He still wanted to pursue me. You know, he still summoned me.
That's good.
And he could have just been like, you know what? Let her drown. You know, let her.
She wants it her way. She gets her way.
You know, yeah. Like, he could have, right? He could have done that to all of us. He could have just been like, yep, they want to do what they want to do. You know?
I think too, you shared that your dad kind of instilled the Christian faith.
Yeah.
And I think it shows the importance of faith-based parents. And because we're faith-based parents now, we can say that.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get it right all the time. And I'm sure your dad didn't get it right all the time either.
Right.
But he still planted the seed. And I think sometimes as parents, we want to plant the seed, water the seed, take care of the seed, you know.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, your dad just really planted. And yes, I'm sure there's other things, but it's like, it just needed to be planted.
Right, yeah.
And that's probably what carried conviction came in your wild 20s, was that seed that was planted because you knew of the Lord, you knew of the Holy Spirit. And even in, you know, the wild current you got trapped in, you still had probably the thought of, like, what am I doing?
Yeah. And you know what's funny that you say that seed was planted. So in high school, me and my dad had an agreement. And it was, I can go out on the weekends with my friends and, you know, hang out, whatever. But on Sunday, I had to go to church. If I don't wake up for church and I don't go to church on Sundays, the following weekend, I couldn't go out. I was like, agreed. I will be there, you know? And so that's what we did. So I would go hang out for Friday, you know, we all went out and with, you know, did whatever. And then, you know, come Sunday, I would be tired as ever, but I was there. And I thank him for that so much because, you know, it planted those seeds. It did. It instilled things in me. And it's great. You know, I think that was amazing that, you know, he did that. And it made it, like, it almost like turned it where it's like I went willfully. Right. Even though we have that agreement, I still went willfully. And I know a lot of parents struggle, you know, getting their teens to church, you know, things like that. But with this agreement, I was like, you know, so, and so I thought that was smart, you know, that was smart of my dad. And so I was at church every Sunday, you know, and it wasn't a fight. It wasn't a fight for me to get up to go because I already knew I had this agreement and, you know, I was going to honor that. And so, the Lord was working, you know, we didn't you can't see it, but he was working in me through that season.
Anything.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't waste anything.
Yeah.
Any part of our story.
Yeah.
So when I met you, it was 3 years ago.
I think so.
It was about 3 years ago. And I think one of the first questions I asked you and Richie was, why did you guys move to Casa Grande?
Yeah, you remember that.
I do remember that.
Okay.
Because people don't just randomly move to CG.
Yeah.
But are you from CG? I don't remember the story. So tell that a little bit.
So my parents lived here. We were raised here up until the 5th grade.
Okay.
So back in 97 is when we moved.
Were you born in CG?
I was born in Phoenix by coincidence, but I should have probably been born here. My mom was just happened to be in the valley when she went into labor.
Okay.
But we were raised here up until the 5th grade, and then in 97 we moved out to another small town nearby.
Okay.
Out Superior is where it is. Yeah.
So then you and Richie were newlyweds?
We were newlyweds looking for a home. We were looking to buy, and I don't even know why, but one of us pitched the idea of I want to say it was me, but Richie said it was him. So I say one of us said, let's just look a little bit further out, because this is when house prices were just kind of getting crazy, right? Interest rates were still low, but prices of houses were just getting crazy. And so I'm like, no, I don't want to spend $500,000 on a house that's worth $100,000, So we're like, all right, let's go out. So we looked in Casa Grande. We looked out here, and before you know it, the doors just started opening immediately. And we were praying on it, and I was praying on it, and we just felt a peace. Let's just do it. Let's go. It was kind of hard because I was leaving my sister, who's the BFF, and we've always lived super, literally down the road from each other. So it's been amazing. It was been amazing. I can be close to my nephew and nieces, and to think that I would be moving 35 minutes away from
so far.
Yeah. It was a struggle, just because you couldn't do dinners anymore together, on a random Tuesday or Monday night or things like that. But anywho, we prayed on it, and we just felt like a peace just to come out here, and we were just gonna go. And then one day I was looking for a church. I was just on the internet. I was looking at social media accounts from different churches and things like that.
Good note. I gotta take that note.
Yeah. Social media accounts. Social media. I always look at their Instagram.
Do we have a great one?
Yeah, you awesome Instagram. Very catchy.
That's all Jonathan. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Husband's talented.
Yes.
So I was looking on the social media accounts. And I just I felt like I don't know if I prayed or if it was just my spirit that prayed. I have no idea. But I remember I just literally, Brandy, and I kid you not when I say this, I said, I want a church that is passionate about the word of God. I want a church that is on fire for the word. Don't give me no fluff. I don't want the fluff. I want the hard stuff. I want to cry, I want the Holy Spirit to just, smack me in the face. I want to for a for real church, that's on fire for the Lord. And I just remember that word passion, right? And so when I then I started I think that's when I started Googling, different churches, and I saw Passion Church. I'm like, how funny is that?
Funny, Lord.
I know.
Yeah.
And so I looked into it, and then I went to your guys' social media account. And another thing that me and Richie desired at that time was to get involved, small groups, and specifically one for married couples, right? Because we're a new married couple. And that's one of the small groups that I had saw that was on the social media account was a small group for young married couples. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden, I kid you not, Brandy, after I started looking at your guys' mission, vision, and so forth, the Holy Spirit just hit me in the car. I was actually waiting for Richie to, he was at the gym, and I was waiting for him in the car to get out. And the Holy Spirit just hit me, and I was just crying and crying and crying. And I just felt in my spirit, we need to,
story.
I know. Yeah. It's amazing. I was bawling, ugly crying, and, I was like, we need to visit this church. So I couldn't wait for Richie to get in the car.
Sorry.
Is that your vacuum?
Yeah. Let's pause the story so I can have John turn this off. falling in your car.
Yes.
And you told Richie.
And Richie came in. I'm like, babe. And he's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Like, I was literally crying like if somebody died or something. And he was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, babe. I got my phone like this. We need to visit this church. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? And I'm like, I found a church for us. We need to visit it. And he's like, okay, but like, is everything okay? Like, and I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. I just got moved, you know? And so I just knew at that point, like I knew it wasn't a coincidence about like my prayer, you know, seeking a church that was passionate about the word of God, you know, a pastor that was on fire, who cared for his congregation, you know, to see whether or not they, you know, they pursued Jesus, you know? And so, so we're like, okay, let's go this Sunday. Cause we were so excited. This is, mind you, this is like during COVID, like tip end of COVID, things were finally, churches were just starting to open up. So we were so hungry to get into a church that, you know, as a married couple, because we got married the day before the shutdown.
Oh.
And that was a total coincidence.
So March, yeah.
Yeah. So it was March 14th was our wedding. March 15th was the complete shutdown where they shut basically the whole world, right?
Yeah.
So we spent like our entire honeymoon just, what do we call it again when we were isolated?
Yeah.
When we were in our home.
I don't even remember.
Anyway.
Quarantined.
We were quarantining. Yeah. And so we are just excited. Churches are finally starting to open up at this point. And then we're like, let's go this Sunday. Well, we ended up getting before that Sunday happened. One of us thought we had COVID. So we're like, oh man, we can't go like this. You know, I think we were exposed to someone who had COVID. That's what happened. And so that Sunday, we're like, oh man, we really wanted to go that Sunday. And it didn't happen. We're like, let's just be safe. Let's be smart. So we didn't go. But ironically, we had found out this later that the church closed that Sunday because there was a flood in the children's center.
Oh, the preschool.
That was a Sunday that we were supposed to visit, but we didn't end up going because of the flood, or well, because of COVID. But same thing. If we would have gone down there, you guys would have been closed. We were, So, anywho, we didn't end up going, but the following Sunday we went. So, and that's what kind of just led us to finding a church in Casa Grande.
And then I remember this part, which I've shared this with you because I laugh when I talk about it, is when my husband or the boys, I say the guys met Richie. They're trying to meet Richie. And so Richie had signed up to go to the men's conference now, but men's camp back then.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking for Richie. We're looking for Richie, the guy who fishes. He's fishing. And nobody in Passion Church found him. And he was just fishing by himself or somebody. And I just remember John coming home and saying, yeah, I never got to meet Richie. And we never got to find him.
He's all floating around with a fishing pole.
It wasn't until later, I don't even know how we actually connected, but I just remember John coming home saying like, yeah, babe, like everybody's looking for this guy named Richie. He's new to the church and nobody found him.
Oh my goodness. That's so funny.
But that's what I remember like from back then. But then I also remember, Monica, when you guys came over to our home and you guys shared, you guys were pregnant and you got to share your story.
Yes.
And so you want to share a little bit about that? Because it was very exciting for us. One, thank you. I look back and I'm like, what an honor that you guys chose to share that moment with us. You know, because it was so personal and it's a miracle story.
Yes. Yeah.
But before even that, you had shared with me that you were single for a long time.
Yeah.
Can I say that word, a long time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
For a long time.
Yeah.
And so I wanted you to kind of walk me through that again.
Yeah.
Just walk me through. So you were wild in your 20s, wild card. Okay. And then when did you stop kind of being the wild 20s and kind of submit a little bit more to the Lord? When did that happen?
So that happened when I'm just laughing because I was kind of sharing with my testimony. So what happened was I had a broken heart from someone that I should not have been seeing. And my heart was shattered. And I went out for a drink with a friend. And I ended up getting into, I'm just going to say, an accident.
Okay.
Because Story's really long. And then from there, I was tested. They gave me DUI. What do you call it?
Like the breathalyzer?
Breathalyzer, that's it.
Yeah.
No. When
No?
they test your alcohol level?
Yeah, I think it's a
Okay,
breathalyzer.
Okay, I don't even know why I'm not even knowing the words right now. Anyway, so they tested my alcohol content. And from then, I ended up going to jail. And
Which I told you earlier, I had no idea you went to jail.
So this is my testimony. It's raw, it's real. I ended up going to Tent City, and I was there for, I believe, 7 days, and it was the worst 7 days of my life. Like, absolute worst 7 days of my life. It was torment. You know, it was pure torment. It wasn't until then that I really just, like, I fell to my knees and I completely submitted to the Lord. Prior to that, I was kind of like, I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out, right? Like, I knew I loved the Lord. I knew I wanted to serve him, and I knew I wanted the Lord wholeheartedly. But I also wanted this life, right? The glamour, you know, the things that I was seeking, right? In the world. Relationships, you know, the fun, the excitement, all the stuff that's out there.
So could you say that the enemy painted this, like, skewed your view of what fun is, what relationship is, material is?
Right. And you know what? I think when I look back now, I think a lot of people, especially when you're like a little bit older, like when you're 19, you know, you're just going for the fun. But the older you are in the world, like, it seems like you're more looking for something to cover up, right? You're looking to fill your voids. And that's what I was doing. I was trying to fill a void.
How old were you at that point?
I was in my early 20s, like 23, 24. Okay. And I was in my 20s. So I was trying to fill a void at that point. It wasn't no longer like, oh, the fun, but it was more like, when I look back, just trying to fill those voids. So
I have a question though.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to live a lifestyle like that. I was already married by 21.
Yeah.
And so, but I guess my question would be like, when you're living like that, or when you love Jesus, and then, but you're also like, your flesh is just like, I want these things. Sometimes I get people who tell me like, oh, like, they're having fun. It is joyful. It is happiness. So from your perspective, like, doing both, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, did you feel any type of, like, did it fill the void at all? Like, even a little bit when you were doing those things?
Did you have momentarily?
Did you fake anything? Like, would you ever fake like, yay, this is great, my life is great? Or what? Or would you say like, my life is not great?
So I would say it was momentarily, like momentarily excitement, right? So it was just, you know, once that's over, you're going back to being hurt. You're going back to lonely. You're going back to, like, you know, just being depressed, or whatever it is that you're going through. You go through that. So it's just a momentarily fix. A moment. Is that the right word? Momentarily. Yeah. A fix. You know, just a quick fix kind of thing. I knew, because I was raised in the church, I never fit in. When I look back, I never fully fit in. That wasn't my thing. That wasn't my scene. I shouldn't have been there, but I tried. You know, I kept trying, and I kept trying to make it work, you know, to be like them. But in the end, like, I knew where my heart should have been. And so it took me getting my DUI in order for me to say, you know what, I'm done. There's no fruit in this world. There is no fruit in the club, in alcohol, in all of these things. Like, I'm done, Lord. Like, I give up. Like, I'm done running.
And you did that while you were in jail?
Yeah, essentially going through the process, right? Like, I had to go to trial and all of these things. And so through that, nothing could help me, right? Like, there was no amount of money that was going to lessen my sentence. There was no lawyer. There was no family member. There was no words that someone could speak to me to encourage me, to help me. It was literally just me and God in that season. It was just me and him, and he was the only one that could help me in that time. And it was through, like, his grace that he saved me, Brandy. He saved me, because the amount of stress, shame, guilt, fear, everything that I went through, through that time.
And the enemy uses those things to like, I was just sharing earlier with somebody else. It's like once you make like a mistake or you make a sinful decision, right? It's like the enemy's like, okay, cool. Like, just continue to make more. It's like, that's the whole narrative of sin, really, is make one wrong choice. It just takes one time. And so now the feeling of shame, and so you want to get out of it, but then you go back to what got you into sin to get out of it. And it's like, that's the narrative. It's like, there's no grace. There is no none of this. So did it take you a while to kind of like, yes, you submitted back to the Lord in those moments. Did you start changing your lifestyle right after that? Or
after that, I just said I'm done. And it wasn't a gradual thing. It was literally, I'm just
like 180.
Done. 180. Like, that's what
cold turkey.
Cold turkey. Like, we ain't doing this, like, there's no way I'm going to end up back in this situation. And so I spent that time in Tent City, and it was just, it was disgusting. When I say disgust, I'm not talking about like what it looked like. I'm talking about what it felt like, right? That shame. Like, I literally felt like I was in the pits of hell. And I know that's nothing in comparison to what hell is, but that's what it felt like for me. But after that, beauty came. And it was grace, and it was love, and it was forgiveness, and then healing came. And then the Lord started working on me to heal wounds, childhood things, childhood trauma, just peeling back the layers. And it was such a sweet season of healing and growth and freedom. Oh my goodness, just freedom. And so so then that's when I just started seeking the Lord. I'm running with you, God. Like, I am running with you wholeheartedly. And that's when the Lord started pouring into me about writing. And I had a good group of friends at that time, who were all just going to worship nights and, Christian concerts and all of the awesome things. And it was such a beautiful season. And in that season, that's when I started struggling with my singleness, right? So now I don't have this party scene anymore. I don't have this club scene. I'm not doing all that stuff anymore. I'm going to worship night and then going home alone, right? I'm going home alone, and I'm spending a lot of time by myself. I'm working from home. And felt like I was missing something. I felt like I was missing.
How old were you at this point?
I want to say like 25.
Okay.
Around 25, yeah.
Were people around you already getting married?
No, not yet. So I did have a community who was, that weren't married as well, but that didn't change things, right? Because like, when you feel like you want a partner, that it that's what you want, right? That's your desires. So the Lord started working in me to get to a place where it would be okay if I never got married, or it would be okay if, if I never had children. And that was hard for me, but the Lord had to undo some things in me in order for me to finally get to that place. So to be honest with you, Brandy, it took a really long time, because I truly believe that I made relationships an idol. And to break down or to let go of those idols was really hard.
Like, when you say relationships, are you talking about like
having a boyfriend?
Okay,
having like a spouse.
Sorry, what am I trying to say? Not like a friendship.
Right. No,
Okay.
like, I'm talking about like
romantic relationships.
Yeah, like a boyfriend,
Okay.
or a husband and things like that. And so in that season, it took a long time. It took a long time to get there. And I had to work in a lot of things. The Lord had to work a lot of things in me in order to finally get to that place of like contentment. And what's funny is it took a long, when I say it took a long time, I want to say like between 25 and 30.
So like
5 years. Yeah, like wow. 5 years for me to like finally just say, you know what? I don't care about a man. I don't care about a relationship. I'm okay if I don't have kids. I'm good.
So I want to touch on that because I think the way you did it was healthy, like saying, I don't care about this, I don't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that sometimes when we say that in our younger years, especially now with society, and I think also like how we grew up. If you didn't grow up in a functional home, you know, or your parents were divorced or anything like that, which my parents were divorced, and I used to say things like that, but it became a vow. And so what ended up happening is I ended up in the same-sex relationship because I would say I don't need a man. I don't need a husband. But I think what you did was healthy.
Right.
Because the Lord had already been working in your life.
Right.
And in your context, it's more of like, Lord, I can just depend on you.
Absolutely. And that's what it is Lord, if I only had you, I'm still going to serve you the same. Mm-hmm. If it's only me and you for the rest of my life and my 100 cats.
Did you think you'd be a cat?
Yeah.
You
well,
I never.
Yeah, I'm not a cat person, but I was like, that's the image that I had is like, I'll probably just end up being the Thea who flourishes her nephews and nieces with gifts and have like tons of cats, you know? But yeah, no. So that was it. My mindset was like, Lord, if it's just me and you, I'm still gonna serve you. Mm-hmm. And so it was right around when I hit 30 that I finally got to that place. And then ironically, like 3 months later, I met Richie. I met him. We weren't dating or anything like that, but I had met him. And I'm like, Lord, really?
And where did you meet him?
Where did we meet? We met through mutual friends that we had from another church that would attend. We would all kind of gather, and he was a part of that group. Though I rarely only saw him, very few. I met him one night when we all went to a
part
birthday.
of like a life group at that church?
Yeah. So there was a big church in the Valley, a well-known church. They would have really good young adults. And so everybody from different churches at that time would go to like where all the cool spot was, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what we did is we all would go to different life groups around the Valley. And that's how we kind of stayed connected and stayed in community while being single, which was so much fun. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's how I met Richie, was through a mutual friend. And yeah, he was a nice guy. He was cool, you know.
But you were already content.
Yeah, but I was good. I wasn't looking. My heart, it was completely broken off. Mm-hmm. You know, it was completely broken off where I'm like, you know, if the Lord does it, he does it. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. And I'm okay, you know. But what's funny is I'm like, man, like I thought, you know, I like right when you're content and you're feeling good. And then he's like, boom, you know, here's a little something for you, you know? And I'm like, oh, I thought I would be able to enjoy this for a little bit longer, which is kind of funny, you know? But no, we met and we were essentially just friends, social media friends. And I didn't bump. Oh, I'm sorry. During that time, we actually did run into each other a few times. And one was at a Christmas party, and that's where he tried pursuing me. And he wanted to hear my testimony, but we were all like singing karaoke, and it was like,
okay, I just want to note real quick. I just want to note that you were in a healthy environment where there was healthy men. Mm-hmm. Well, we maybe not everybody, but it was a healthy environment to where if you were looking for a spouse, it wasn't in an unhealthy environment.
Right, yeah.
And so I think that's important because I think in the dating scene right now, in the Christian realm, they want to find the Christian man, but they don't go to healthy environments to find that.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I think that I just thought that was interesting because it's like you could have found somebody at the bar right. And you know, it could be probably not healthy. Right. Very, very rare is it going to be great.
Yeah, definitely.
But you were at a Christmas party with friends that you've probably already been with for a while. And you had a community that was healthy. Yeah. So you were not looking for unhealthiness anymore.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's important is to get ourselves plugged in with like-minded people, right? We hear that all the time. Yeah. But like really just separating ourselves, you know, we have to do that because we're not going to gain in any other way, you know? And so, yeah, that's where Richie was with, and he wanted to hear my testimony, but Journey was playing on karaoke and I wasn't about that. It was like loud, you know, cause it's a Christmas party with, you know, all of our friends. And he's like, so, you know, like, tell me about your testimony. And I'm like, look, dude, Journey's on right now, you know?
What did you say? Yeah,
you said? No, I was like, I can't remember, honestly. I can't remember what I told him, but I think I kind of just like it was hard for me to focus on the conversation, you know. And I think he kind of picked it up. He kind of picked up the cues. But what was funny is at the end, we're all leaving. I'm putting on my coat, and he's like, "Hey," he was like, "Can I walk you to your car?" And I was like, shivery, yeah. And I'm like, you know what? It was like 11 o'clock and it was winter night. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that would be great, actually, because my car was parked kind of down the road. Oh gosh, I don't even know if I should mention this part, which is funny. Should I do it?
Do it. It's raw.
So we're walking out. And then there was this other guy that was waiting for me to leave to walk me out.
Dang, Monica. The Lord's like, she's content. Let's send them all.
And it was so funny, but awkward at the same time when we first walked out, because you can tell like he was standing there just like waiting for me. And then I'm like, Richie was right here. And I'm like, oh gosh, this is so weird, you know? And so I was like, oh, have a good night, you know? Mind you, my heart wasn't there. I wasn't interested in both guys. I wasn't interested in anybody. Yeah, like I'm just trying to get to my car, you know? And so, yeah, he walked me into my car, and we were talking along the way, and I get in my car, and then that was it. I'm like, I thought it was really awkward or funny that he didn't ask me for my number. I'm like,
you walked me to my car and that's it?
Yeah, but it was just funny because I kind of felt like he was kind of pursuing me, and I'm like, that's weird, So, but I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is, and that was it. I didn't see him for, let's see, a whole year later.
Wow.
A whole year later, we didn't run into each other, even with the same group of friends. We didn't run into each other. But what's great about that is I'm thankful, because during that year, the Lord there are some loose strings that we had to tie up. And when I look back, I'm like, I'm thankful he never asked me for my number, because had he asked me, I may have said yes. I think I would have said yes. He was a nice guy, but I would have ruined it, Brandy. I would have ruined it. And what's funny is that Richie, during that walk to my car, he was praying, asking the Lord. And of course, I didn't find this out till later, but he was praying, asking the Lord, should I ask her for a number? Should I ask her for a number? And he didn't feel like the Lord wanted him to. And so he didn't. And he was obedient. And I'm so thankful.
Man, there's so many nuggets, Monica, there just for women who are single right now, and who are, whether you're young single, like early 20s, or whether you consider yourself single like in your 30s, 40s. And it's like you if you're a Christian, you want of your future husband to be as intentional as Richie was. Like, I'm just walking this girl to her car, but I'm asking the Lord in my mind, like, do I ask for her phone number or not? And I think sometimes women who are single do not think about that, who are Christians.
Yeah.
It's like, I want a Christian husband. Okay, well, be detailed.
Yeah.
Christian husband can mean a lot of things.
Yes.
Does he cover you? Can he cover you?
Right.
Does he seek the Lord in prayer? Does he just say he's a Christian?
Right. Is he bearing fruit?
Is he bearing fruit?
That's my biggest thing. It's like, and that's one thing I prayed. It's like, Lord, don't bring me no checklist Christian, because I go to church. Oh, I read. Cool. But are you bearing fruit? Do you carry the fruit of the Spirit? Do you believe in speaking in tongues? Like, do you believe in the baptism of the Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things. And I think that's the thing, is like, we cannot settle. We cannot, as Christian women, we cannot settle, because it is going to hurt us in the long run. Like the scripture talks about being equally yoked, and equally yoked, just because they believe, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're equally yoked. We could have totally different views on theology and, all of these things. And we may not fit. Just because you're Christian, just because I'm Christian, we may not work out, but we're trying to fit, this square peg in a round hole. And it's like, look, quit trying. Like, quit trying.
Do you think, like in the season of singleness, because everybody will be single at some point. Like, you start out single, so it's not like you start out with the partner.
Yeah.
So do you think that as Christian women, that God calls us to be intentional in our singleness?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it sets the foundation for the rest of our life, right? Because um we are all going to get through another season where we're going to have to use the same skills, that he taught us
That's good.
in the next season. Like, so for instance, and I won't jump ahead too far, but I had to learn to be content while I was single. And then when I was married, I had to learn to be content with not having children, and that's a whole other part, because I wasn't able to have children. And I didn't find that out until after we were married. So I had to learn and use those same skill sets
That's so good,
that
Monica.
the Lord taught me from that season and in this season. And I, who knows in that next season, but now I know because that foundation has been laid.
Yeah.
He laid that foundation for me.
Yeah. That's really good. I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
But I believe that there's a lot of women, and just even on my end, things that I see, it's like, you get impatient. And and impatient causes you with anything. It's just relationship. It just causes you to make wrong decisions. It causes you to make a decision based on an emotion that you're feeling.
Right.
And I know I say this all the time. It's probably annoying now to people, but like, your emotions do not get to lead you.
Yes, Brandy. That's what I had to live by. I had to live by that in my season of of singleness. Like, I had to live by, like, my flesh wants a husband, my flesh wants a partner, my flesh wants, all those things that come in marriage.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not going to walk by my flesh. I'm not going to let my flesh lead me. Like, I'm not, my spirit is what's healthy. My spirit what's going to keep me at peace, right? And just carrying that through everything. And I think when me and Richie finally started dating, that's one thing that we said is we do not want to walk by our flesh, but by our spirit, because my flesh already loves you.
Yeah,
6 days in, and
so
I'm like,
good.
we're all in love, and like
you're gonna spend every day together.
Yes, but is that healthy as a Christian?
Is it?
Is it healthy? It's not healthy, because we are weak. Our flesh is weak, and so one thing was that, like I said, is we vowed that we're not going to walk by our flesh. We're not going to walk by our flesh, but we're going to walk by our spirit. And in our dating season,
did you call it dating season?
We did not.
Okay, what did you call it?
So when we were getting to know each other,
Yeah.
it was like, we were dating, I guess you can say. But when we finally realized, like, yes, you are the one, and yes, we do want to pursue marriage, at that point, we called it courting.
Okay.
Right? Because, like, it's completely different. We're pursuing marriage now. Like, this isn't, no, I'm going to date you for 7 years, and then you're going to tell me if you want to marry me or not. No, we're not going to do that.
That's just a waste of time.
Yeah, no,
that's me personally.
Yeah, if you don't know, I'm sorry. If like, day month 3, whether or not this person, you can see this person for the rest of your life, that you can have a partnership, that early on.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then maybe we need to do a heart check.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there's some things that we need to work on.
What were some of the intentional things that you and Richie did while you guys were courting or dating? Like, what were some of the things that you guys did that is different from the world, that the world doesn't do?
Right. So, no kissing was our one thing. Is we had to come together and talk about, like, what are the things that make you fall short,
I think that's funny, because I think when people hear that, they're like, oh, that's so old, or that's so traditional, or like the Bible doesn't even say to do that.
Okay. But what we're doing is protecting ourselves. And we knew ourselves, because in our singleness, we had to get to know ourselves, right? What our limits are, what our boundaries are, what will make us fall short, right? And so those are the things you worked out in your singleness.
It's good.
So that when you come to a relationship, you already know, like, look at, if you're an alcoholic, right? You're not going to put a bottle of alcohol right next to you, right? You're gonna know your limits. You're gonna know your boundaries and what you can take. And so that was one of the things. Is early on we said, no kissing, and that we really just wanted to get to know each other completely.
Which is a benefit, Monica, because kissing is an emotional thing, and it's a physical thing. So it's like, if you start a relationship physically first,
right?
How are you establishing a friendship? And how are you establishing healthy emotional boundaries?
Right. Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah. And absolutely. And that's what we knew, is we knew, like, it would just carry on from there. And we did not want to touch those waters until we were certain that you are the one. And so for our thing is that we really wanted just to get to know each other completely. Like, who are you? Like, talk about the hard stuff, like theology, like, tithing, what are your thoughts on tithing? So we kind of just went over everything. And just to find out, like, will we fit? Like, will we fit together? Or could we be married? Like, yes, I'm attracted to you. Yes, we have things in common, and all of the fluffy stuff, the stuff that we normally go over when when we're dating. But as a lifelong partner, will we work together? Like,
because the looks change.
yeah, absolutely. All the things changed.
Everything changes.
Yeah,
Even as a person, though. I don't know, this stat might be wrong, but I heard it somewhere. It's like every 7 years you change.
Yeah,
you have a new wife and a new husband.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing is, like, when you're a Christian, you grow together, right? Oh, we grew apart. No. It's because you weren't working together.
Yeah.
You may change. You may develop into a different person. Your likes and dislikes may change, but you have to grow together, right? And so that was another thing. Like, can we grow together? Like, is there, can this relationship work long term?
Yeah.
And so when we started seeing each other and getting to know each other, it was really important just to tackle, like, all of those hard topics. And
can you mention some of those hard topics that you guys might have talked about?
Yeah, like I mentioned, like tithing. We talked about tithing. We talked about, like, the Holy Spirit. We talked about, children. How do you want to have children? How many children? So some of the basic conversations that you would have. But we talked about what is your sin? Like, and like legit sin.
Yeah.
Like, what causes you to fall short?
So this made me think of this. So if you're not willing to share your sin, then you might not be ready to get married.
Right. Yeah. And you have to be ready for that stuff, because if not, it's going to come out. Like, and the reason why we're talking about that is not for shame. It wasn't for guilt. It wasn't for any of that. It was, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Right. Because this marriage is a partnership. Right. And I want my husband to walk out his walk.
Yeah.
And as his wife, I'm going to be the one to help support him through that.
Yeah.
So if something makes you fall short, let me know so that I can help you stay away from that. Vice versa. Help me stay away from whatever causes me to fall short.
Did you share a testimony?
Oh yeah, definitely shared our testimony. He shared his, some really deep personal things that we had never shared with anybody else. We just wanted to tackle those things, because if you're going to be my partner, you should know about a lot of these things. You should know about certain things. And if this is going to skew your view of me, then maybe we shouldn't be together. Right? Like, maybe this is not our season for each other. And so we did that. We got to know each other, like the ins and the outs. And we gave ourselves a deadline, like, hey, let's come back in 3 months. And again, the core of that was, like, not to be led by our flesh, right? Because my flesh, like, we liked each other, like, you hardly ever find someone that you can, like, really relate to, but we did not want our feelings to dictate that, right? Because we knew, like, this is important.
Because feelings will blur you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did you guys have accountability?
We did.
Okay.
So once we decided, like, okay, let's go ahead and, like, I believe I can see you as the one. We didn't have confirmation from the Lord at that point, but we just both knew, like, as humans, like, yes, this is a yes for me.
We complement each other, type of thing.
This is a yes. And right after that, we jumped into premarital, and we weren't even engaged yet or anything like that. But I had talked with my dad, and my dad was like, have you thought about a premarital? And I'm like, oh, Dad, like, we're not even, like, we just started getting to know each other. And he was like, no, look into it. And I'm like, okay. So at his church, ironically, a few months later, they're going to start a premarital. And I was kind of nervous to pitch it to Richie, because I'm like, it was really early, like, we're getting to know, like, each other. And he was like, yeah. He's like, let's do it. I was like, let's just see, let's go through premarital. If we can survive premarital, because premarital is tough. If we can survive premarital, then I believe, like, the Lord will reveal to us if this is a yes or no, if he grants us his permission.
And I think you should go into premarriage like that. Like, it's still not a solid.
Right.
Like, I think people don't understand. John and I have done some premarital counseling before, and it's like, at the end of this, like, we're gonna share with you if we believe you are to get married or not.
Yeah.
And I think people don't go into that. It's like, no, let me just do the classes so you can marry me. And it's like, do you understand that when somebody's marrying you, if they're truly doing it spiritually, they're essentially acknowledging with God that they agree that this is going to work. And I think on the flip side, it's like, you should go into it like you guys did. It's like, at the end of this, we may decide that
you're not the one, and that's okay. And that's why we still had to continue. Like, but if my feelings weren't in it and I was madly in love with him and I just let my feelings run wild, I would have married him on the spot. Right? We would have got married on the spot, like a lot of people do, but no. Find out first, like walk it out with the Lord. Like, will this fit? And so, so we went through that premarital together. And in the end, it was going to determine whether or not we got married. We didn't go into it saying, yes, we're getting married. Right. So now we're going through premarital. No, we may not survive premarital. Premarital is tough. Like,
that's just so, I admire that, Monica, of you guys, because it's like, you don't see that a lot in the Christian realm. The world, they're going to do what they're going to do.
Right.
But in the Christian realm, it's like, this is what you should be doing. I tell my girls, and my girls know who my girls are, my young single girls. I tell them all the time, I'm like, are they tithing? Are they serving your local church? Are they bearing fruit? Do they support you in ministry?
Yeah.
Do they support what God has called you to do? Because God calls you before you're married. Right. And so it's like, do they support your community? Do you bring them around the people that you love?
Yeah.
Can they take the heat from your pastor when they're asking questions? Can they do that? And then, are they open to doing things different? Or is it the fake Christian that's like, yeah, I'll do all that, but when it gets to the hard stuff, like, hey, what do you struggle with?
Yeah. And I think that's why it's so important to really get to know those people, without letting your feelings skew things, because with our feelings, we start compromising and we start ignoring red flags and things like that. And so, we, through premarital, we were assigned accountability partners. So shout out to my partner there. Yeah, they helped us get through some of the toughest times.
Wow.
And I'm so thankful for Brittany and Brandon. I'm just going to say their names. Brittany and Brandon were amazing. They helped us get through really tough times in that season. And it was beautiful because, like, the Lord was still like pulling things out of us in that season, right? We're never done growing.
Right.
Like, no matter how much work you do in your singleness, there's still things that the Lord's going to be uprooting. And so that's what he did during that season. And what was so beautiful about that is that we survived.
You survived. You got married.
We survived premarital. And after, in the end, we again, like, reconvened and we're like, yes, let's do it. You are the one. And, but wait, before that, I received confirmation from the Lord, and he said, and I quote, "Your permission has been granted." And so I remember that day so clear. It was so beautiful. And I wept because that's something that I never thought I would hear, And so it was beautiful.
And the fact that you asked him for permission, I think that's what's beautiful, is that you asked him. Like, essentially, in other words, does this please you, Lord?
Yes. And that's what it's about, right? Like, if anything in my life doesn't please you, I don't want it. Right. And I think that's another thing in our singleness is that one thing I learned is that, and it took me a little while to learn this, but until I'm married, I'm still under my father. And I don't think a lot of people know about this, right? My dad is still responsible for me until I am married. He is still my covering. And I think when we're 18, 19, 20, we're like, oh, like, my parents, they don't, like, I don't have to report to them. I don't have to, seek their permission. But the thing is that my dad hadn't given me away yet. He still has to give me away. And just like the Lord is my covering, or my husband's my covering, but when you're single, the Lord is my covering. So is my father. My father had not given me away yet. So I still have to honor my father. I still have to report to him. And it looks different from a high schooler, reporting to their parents. It looks different, but, that's one thing that I learned through my dad. And I'm so thankful for that, that I was still able to respect my father because he was still my covering
Yeah.
until the day he gave me to my husband, and then my husband was my covering. Yeah. And so after we were engaged for 9 months, and I'm like, look, we're not gonna do no 6-year engagement. We're not gonna
We ain't
do.
gonna last.
Yeah, well, I mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
come on, there's all the temptation that comes through. No, like, we're not gonna put ourselves through that.
One thing that I wish me and John would have done different is we didn't have the best accountability partners in the sense of they weren't intentional. And so they were just kind of title.
Yeah.
And so there's all the fleshly temptations that
Right.
you want to do before
Right.
marriage, because the enemy comes in and says, "Oh, you're engaged, so you can do these things."
Right.
Nobody's gonna know. And so it took a lot of will
Right.
and strength to not do a lot of things that we didn't want to, but the flesh wanted to. But I do wish I would have had better accountability people that I could have gotten and said, "Hey, like something almost happened over here. I need you to be with me, or tell me something." Because man, it's just like the enemy just flips a switch.
Absolutely. No, and we need that, right? Especially because we're in love. Love brings so many emotions, right? And so you feel comfort and things like that. And I'm not gonna lie, we had some relapses. Okay. There were some relapses, of certain things, not the full deal things, but there was a couple of times where we relapsed.
That's a good
because
word.
because we're human, we're flesh, and we're still battling that. And and it was difficult. I'm not gonna even lie, it was not easy at all.
I agree.
Like,
that's why I don't think engagement should be that long.
Yeah, definitely
Like,
not. Shoot, I'm
you're
not
gonna be
trying to
engaged for
wait.
2-3 years. Like at that point,
Yeah, I know. No, we ain't doing that.
No.
The Lord has promised us something.
A gift.
Get it going. We got a gift going. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like, not that is the encouragement, but when you have the right partner and like, this person is the one. This is the one that the Lord had set aside for me. Like, you want to get there.
Yeah, you do.
Right? You want to get there. And so, so we ended up, we were engaged for 9 months. And we got married. We had a big, beautiful wedding. I loved my wedding. And it was wonderful. Yeah. And then that's when COVID hit. And so it was.
And then fast forward. So you guys have 2 kiddos now.
Yeah.
So not only did the Lord teach you how to be content in your singleness, which you wrote a study, the Lord gave you a download.
Yes. So what's cool about that is everything he taught me on getting to a place of contentment, he had me write down. And I wrote and wrote and wrote, and I just wrote it down, not knowing that there was anything that was going to go further on with that. But then the Lord said, "You're going to teach a 6-week study." And I'm like, what? And so he was like, "Yep, everything that I taught you, but I want you to put it into like a 6-week study." And he just gave me everything I needed, just a complete download. And so I compiled it into a 6-week study. And I had a small group from my church and the Lord had me call it Content in Your Singleness. And so essentially what it does is just breaks down all the things that cause us to that hinder our contentment, right? Can hinder our contentment in that season, and helps us walk through the skill sets, the tools, the biblical tools that the Lord gives us on how to finally come to a place of like peace and literally just pursuing him, right? We have to be at peace in our season, just pursuing him and nothing else.
And you learn obedience in that season.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it,
Yeah.
So I created that study, and I've taught it quite a few times now.
Do you have it available for others?
I do.
Okay.
I do. It is available for others. So if anyone is interested and you feel like you're in that season of like, I can't give this up. Like, I am lonely. I'm sad. Like, I want a husband, like will I ever get married? If we're struggling with those things, like this is for you because I've been there. And I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be at a family function and then get in your car and you just cry because you're going home alone because you don't have somebody and you want that, but that's not what we're called to be, right?
Yeah.
We're called to be whole, body, soul, and spirit.
Yeah.
And the Lord gave us those tools. He equipped us. He gave us everything we need so that we can be at peace in our season. And so anyway, so that study, if anyone feels like I need this, I got you.
Yep. We're going to have it available. It'll be in the show notes.
Yay, good.
So for them is there like a quiz that you're going to have for them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I created a quiz, and this quiz is like, hey, am I content in my singleness? And take this little quiz and find out.
Yeah.
If you are. And, with your results, if with your results based off of that, come to me.
Yep.
Come to me. I got you because I've been there and I know what it's like.
So with that, we'll have that in the show notes. And you learned to be content in your singleness. You met Richie. You guys got married. And then how long after you guys got married did you have children?
So
how old were you when you got married?
I was 32 when I got married.
Okay, 32.
Yeah, 32, got married for 5 years. So after me and Richie got married, boom, we're like, let's do it. Let's have some babies, and nothing happened. I'm like, I'm Mexican. We're fertile, like we're fertile.
First time.
Yeah, boom, that's it. Nothing. Like months were going by, and a couple years went by, and I'm like, all right, I think I need to get checked out. I think I need to see what's going on. So me and Richie went to a fertility specialist, a male, and he saw a male fertility specialist, and I saw a female. And turned out that I had only 7 eggs left.
Wow. You were how old?
I want to say 33, maybe. Okay. Yeah, 33 at the time. So maybe just a year later. But I only had 7 eggs left, and they're like, you have 3 in your right ovary and 4 in your left ovary.
Wow.
And so what that means to me is that you will essentially only have about 7 months to get pregnant.
Wow.
You lose an ovary. When we ovulate every month, we lose an ovary. An egg.
An egg. Not an ovary.
Not an ovary. Please don't. No, an egg. And that scared me, right? That scared me. I was like, there's a chance that I may not be able to have children. And the doctor either said it was either you guys get pregnant in the 7 months by chance or IVF. And for us, IVF is just completely out of the question for 1,000 reasons. And I had to wrestle with that. I had to wrestle with, like, I may never be able to have children.
Again, the word contentment.
And with that, he said, and even with your 7 eggs, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're all healthy eggs.
Wow.
So that just put fear in me, right? It put so much in me. And I started to struggle, but I was like, no, I'm not. Like, though I want children so bad, and I want to give my husband children, I knew that I could not buy into that lie. And I knew I had the skill sets and the tools, right? At that point, I already knew what I needed to do. I knew how to walk out this season, but it was hard. Because when you tell a woman you may not be able to have children, that's like a dagger to your heart. It's a dagger, like everything in you just falls. And man, I had to just go to the Lord and seek him and seek him and seek him, and finally just lay it at his feet. And get to that place where I'm like, okay, Lord, if I don't have children, if I can't fill those rooms, I'm still going to serve you the same. And I'm still going to love you. And I'm still going to seek you. It was so hard, Brandy. It was so hard. But I finally went to that place. And even though I was finally like, okay, it still hurt.
Right.
Because it was a desire. And speaking of desire, just because the scripture says, everybody's like, oh, the desire of your heart, the Lord's going to give you what you want. Like, no. Obviously paraphrasing.
Yeah.
No. Read the scriptures prior to that. It says, seek him first. Seek him, seek him, seek him, seek him in all different ways. And then it talks about the Lord will give you the desire of your heart.